The word avoidant is used a lot, but there are two different types of avoidance, and they actually show up very differently in relationships. Yes, there are some similarities, there are avoidant tendencies, but their behaviors, patterns, and inner wiring are distinct. And knowing the difference can completely change how you handle connection and distance. Hi, I'm Jess. I've helped over 5,000 people find love, and I run a one-to-one coaching program that takes you from anxious to secure so you can feel confident and trust your gut. If you're ready for that transformation, sign up via the link in the description box. So yes, let's talk about the two types of avoidant: dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. Let's talk about them one by one. Firstly, the dismissive avoidant. Dismissive avoidants are more consistently emotionally disconnected, and not just from others, but often from themselves as well. They pretty consistently suppress their emotions. And that doesn't mean they don't have emotions. It just means that they push them away when they start to surface. They push them out of their own awareness. And as a side note, this can be really damaging in the long run. And dismissive avoidants are highly, highly independent. They only really rely on themselves, and they tend to have pretty low needs for connection, at least deep connection. More extroverted avoidants might actually spend quite a lot of time with people and have a lot of surface level friendships, but those friendships will rarely, if ever, involve real vulnerability. And dismissive avoidants keep their inner world on lockdown. Everything is compartmentalized and controlled. It's how they stay composed, and in their minds, it's how they avoid the messiness of emotions. But that same control is what stops them from experiencing real closeness. And because dismissive avoidants consistently suppress their emotions, they don't typically explode or have dramatic confrontations when things get hard. Instead, they pull away. It's also why they tend to avoid conflict altogether, because conflict stirs up emotions they'd rather not feel or deal with. To them, arguments don't bring clarity, they bring chaos. So instead of engaging, they shut down, withdraw, or change the subject. And a quick heads up, if you're anxiously attached, this next part is for you. If you constantly overthink, spiral, and second guess yourself, I've got something that can help. It's called the Self-Trust Blueprint. It's my 3-step framework to go from anxious to secure in life and love without years of therapy or guesswork. And I'm giving it away for free for a limited time. And honestly, I'm super, super passionate about it because I've seen it change so many lives. It's the exact framework I used myself to become securely attached, and my life is so much better for it. I've helped over 5,000 people find love. My work has been featured in Forbes, Cosmopolitan, Men's Health, the New York Times, and many more. And I've spent years refining the exact tools you'll find inside this blueprint. If you're ready to go from spiraling to secure, sign up via the link in the description box to get it while it's still available. Secondly, the fearful avoidant. Fearful avoidants, on the other hand, part of them really wants connection, but they tend to live in two emotional modes: don't leave me, or I need space. They have an anxious side and an avoidant side. They fear both being abandoned and losing their independence. And they're hyper attuned to emotional shifts. They read between the lines because their early environment likely taught them that closeness was unpredictable. While dismissive avoidants tend to detach from subtle emotional cues or not really notice them, fearful avoidants zero in on them. Say someone is taking longer to reply. A dismissive avoidant likely won't notice unless it's a big difference, but a fearful avoidant will perceive small delays as a threat to the connection. Another difference is that dismissive avoidants tend to be more consistently detached, while fearful avoidants live in extremes. They might overshare, be telling you everything, and then ghost. They might cling, then panic and push you away. They want emotional intimacy, but the moment it starts to feel stable, they sabotage it because it feels unfamiliar and even unsafe. We're drawn to familiarity, even if it isn't good for us, which is one of the reasons that people stay stuck in painful cycles. And it's also one of the reasons why shifting out of attachment patterns does require intention. It doesn't just magically happen one day. So yes, you can feel like you've gone really deep with fearful avoidance, and then all of a sudden it's like a switch has been flipped and suddenly they're in avoidant mode. Fearful avoidants do feel deeply. Their emotions can be intense, all-consuming, and even overwhelming, or quite often overwhelming. fearful avoidants do often struggle to regulate their emotions. Their emotional world is rich, but also unpredictable, even to themselves. Essentially, dismissive avoidants numb and detach, while fearful avoidants feel everything and then panic. So there we have it, the two very different versions of avoidance. Dismissive avoidants shut down to avoid real intimacy and maintain a sense of control, while fearful avoidants swing between closeness and withdrawal because both connection and distance feel risky to them. And if you're ready to heal your attachment patterns so you can feel confident and trust your gut, my one-to-one coaching program will show you exactly how to do that. You'll learn the tools to quiet the overthinking, rebuild self-trust, and make clear, grounded decisions. If you're ready for that transformation, sign up via the link in the description box. Thanks for watching.